Good afternoon. Welcome in. Hope everybody's having a good week so far. We're back here with another one-on-one live stream interview here at Hidden Gem Sports Scouting. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Um, Weather's pretty here in Middle Tennessee. Finally, we've gotten through 3 rounds of tornadoes and thunderstorms and a lot of flooding and destruction and things. So good to see the sun out. But we're here to take some time and get to know a client, a new client, one we're really excited about. Uh, our director of pro scouting, Coach Behan, brought him to my attention. Had a chance to speak with his mom on several occasions, and now getting a chance to speak with him. Really excited. Maxwell Anderson, cornerback, defensive back from Weber State University. Um, in fact, Maxwell is only the second Weber State athlete we've worked with over the last 8.5 years. The last one being Drake White, a wide receiver who way back in 18-19 time frame, we were able to get a private workout with the Houston Roughnecks of the XFL for him. And we got him into arena and indoor ball and things like that, and got his career off and running. But anyway, we're here with Maxwell. Maxwell is a 5'11", 185-pound corner. His mom told me you put on a little weight since last time on the field there at Weber.
Yes, sir.
I mean, I don't even know where to begin. I spent several hours collecting all this information, all your awards, your honors, your accolades. I mean, you're Mike Adams Award winner. You're a two-time Buck Buchanan watch list candidate, which goes to the best FCS defensive player. You're a two-time all-conference, all-Big Sky. You were part of a Big Sky conference championship. You're multiple time, I'm just going to say it that way, multiple time All-American selection. Preseason All-American through Stats Perform, Blue Bloods. What else? Athlon Sports. You were selected to the All FCS defensive team in 2022. AP FCS All American second team. Stats Perform FCS All American second team in 23. And I'm sure that's probably not all. But that's, I mean, I went through from the beginning of your career to the end, and I hope that I got most everything. If not, I'll get with you and mom and clarify that. But finished your college career, and then you get invited to a local pro day with the 49ers.
Yes, sir.
You end up getting invited back to mini camp with the San Francisco 49ers, you know, I guess some unfortunate. I guess, well, I don't want to say unfortunate, but maybe some not so productive relationships. I'll just say it that way. Have left you in the boat trying to find your way back to the field, and hopefully in the NFL door sooner rather than later. How have things been since the 49ers pro day mini camp? Talk to us about kind of what you're doing right now, where you're at, and kind of what have you been doing with your time until you get that first opportunity.
It's been a journey since then. I've just been training, working out with a speed trainer, a DB trainer every day. And then I was going to a couple of UFL tryouts and then a CFL tryout. But every day I'm just working out, just trying to stay ready.
Okay, I got you.
Long process.
Yeah, it has been. Talk to me about I talked to you a little bit offline before this, but talk to me about your mindset, headspace, as far as you've done these tryouts, which are typically fundraisers. They're not typically placed time players. Um, you've been in front of the 49ers. You've played Division I ball. You've got a mile long list of accolades and awards and things. You had a productive, a hugely productive college career. You hit the field when you were a freshman, and played right away. You weren't a guy that had to sit and adjust and learn. Like, you were a guy that was thrown right into the fire. Where are you at right now, headspace wise? Are you motivated? Are you? I know you expressed kind of a sense of frustration to me offline about this whole process, but how motivated are you? How determined are you? How driven are you right now? Where are you at in that sense?
I feel like this whole situation with me allowed me to realize how disciplined you got to be successful. And in this process right now, it's allowing me to learn that and become more disciplined as a man and my whole everyday aspect of life as well as football. So I feel like my mind space is getting better. Is like I'm not gonna say it was always good because
Yeah,
obviously this was a big thing for me in my whole life. But
yeah.
uh, as time goes on, you get better. You learn how to grow and get through stuff.
How big is the game of football to you? How important is it to you?
I don't even know how to answer that sometimes because it's like I feel like everybody say it, but it's like literally my whole life. I've been playing football since I was around 7, since I could only know, and my cousins before me was playing, so I've been around the game my whole life. So I literally chose what I wanted to do in my life, and this is what it was. And I feel
What
like
is
that
it
could tell you how big it is for me.
What do you love so much about the game? What is it that draws you to it? What is it that drives you to want to be the best and to play at such a high level and to chase the highest of levels in the game itself? What what excites you? What motivates you about the game?
Competing. That's the number one thing that comes to my head is competing. And I was just having a conversation with one of my good friends, and we was talking about how you don't get the same culture and nature that you get from football in the outside world. Like
Mhm.
football is a different space that you get to have fun and you get to basically be a whole different person than you are in the outside world. And football just allowed me to do that. So
Mhm.
football is really big in my opinion.
I understand. I understand. I want to talk real quick about mom. Mom is, I've already learned just talking to her and interacting with her that's your biggest supporter, huh? Your biggest fan.
Of course. Of
How
course.
important has she been to you in this whole process and keeping you motivated and just reminding you not to give up and that it's going to be okay. We're going to find a way. Talk a little bit about that behind the scenes support system.
Oh man. I owe my mom the world, honestly. And that's what I'm trying to give to her. But she she knows how to keep her son like headstrong and motivated and in the right space to be a successful man. So
Mhm.
I can't give her nothing but props and show love to her. She's the biggest.
She's protective of you too. I can tell talking to her, and that's kind of a normal mom thing, but it kind of exudes from her when her and I talk about you and your football journey and what she needs done, what you need done. I just it just jumps right off. Um, I'm gonna say that you're extremely close with mom, huh?
Yes, sir.
I was a mama's boy growing up a long time ago, so I understand. I get it. Let's kind of start back at the beginning. Let's talk about where this all began. Talk about where you're from originally. Talk about where you ended up playing your high school ball, and let's kind of start there. Let's talk about that part, and then we'll move into some other stuff.
I was born in Hayward, California. Grew up in Fremont. Went to uh, middle school out there, and then went to high school at Monroe Catholic in Hayward.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, I feel like that's where I got my journey at is Monroe around my sophomore year when
Okay.
I learned I really wanted to be good at football. That's when I chose I wanted to be good at football.
So when you figured out, okay, this is what I want to do, I want to be great at this, and you started kind of lock in and really focus and try to learn the business and understand the process. How was it? Did you start on varsity early on, or did it take a few years before you cracked that line up?
Um, so I was a two-sport athlete at
Okay.
Monroe, and so my freshman year I played JV football and basketball,
Okay.
and then my sophomore year I got to play varsity football and basketball.
Okay. All right.
So since my sophomore year, I was playing varsity.
So would you say you're as good a basketball player as you are a football player, or
Ooh, I say it's about equal because I won MVP in high school, and that's the last time I played basketball. So
wow. Okay.
in my league, so yeah,
Are you point guard, shooting guard,
athlete.
athlete? So you
But
played.
yeah, I'm more of the guard. I could do both of them.
I was gonna say you're not a center. You're not tall enough to be
No,
a
no, no,
center.
no. Just the guards.
Just the guards. Okay, I
Yeah,
got you. I'm
but I could
tracking.
guard a 3-2. It's all about the
Okay.
heart.
Okay. How many points a game do you average?
Ooh, I want to say I averaged like 12.5 or something like that. Nothing crazy. But we had a good team though. That's the only reason. We had a good 6 players, 6 seniors that all could touch the ball and get some buckets. So
So I know you probably have this in the back of your filing cabinet internally. What was your stat line weekly? Go ahead and throw out the assists and free throws.
ooh,
Go ahead and give us the whole stat line.
okay, let me think. So you get two games in a week. You get Tuesday and a Friday.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say on the best game, say we play the two top teams in our conference, I'm probably gonna have like 25 to 28 points,
Okay.
probably like 5 rebounds and probably like 5 assists, 6 6.
Okay. All right. All right. What's your free throw percentage?
Uh, I don't even want to get on here and say a false number, but it's somewhere high. It's somewhere
Okay.
high for sure.
Okay. You're not trying to make nobody look bad, right?
Nah.
Okay. All right. I got you. So let's get back on the football thing. You start to play varsity your sophomore year. When did you really know you were that guy? When did you know that, hey, I can go and play D1 ball? Like I'm good at this.
I say my junior year. So my sophomore year, I was getting my feet wet. I played a lot, but I wasn't like the main person on our team.
Okay.
And then like my junior year, we had a senior class that left, and then I came in. I got to play receiver and corner, so I was playing both ways, and then felt like I just took off from there. I was good on both sides of the ball. My
Okay.
confidence was growing, getting older, getting stronger, getting bigger.
Okay. I
Um,
got you. So
so like
you
yeah,
you you can produce at a high level as a receiver as well as a corner?
yes sir. I feel like I could for
Okay.
sure.
All right. I got you. I got you. So talk about awards and honors in high school. What all did you rack up as a football player? All conference,
Um,
all region, all
first
state.
team. So first team all conference. I want to say twice my junior and senior year.
Okay.
Um, I should have won defensive player of the year my senior year, but we're not gonna get into that story. Um, but then yeah, I was top 75 as a two-sport athlete in the Bay Area coming out
Okay.
my senior year. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. I got you. I'm tracking.
Ooh, ooh.
I'm tracking. Um, coming out of you're going into your senior year. What did recruitment look like? Were you being recruited for both sports, or were you just being recruited as a football player? Or
Um, I would say recruitment was slow, so it wasn't really like I was getting recruited a lot. Like it wasn't heavy and for both, but it was interesting both sports for sure.
gotcha.
Because even in football, I only had two offers. I think.
Really?
Yeah,
What, Weber State and somebody else,
and
or
Stetson. I think Stetson was my first offer, and then I got Weber.
okay, I gotcha. Now, did either school recruit you as an athlete, or did they recruit you as a corner, or like which?
Well, Weber recruited me as a corner, but they knew I could play offense too if they, like my coach was talking, if they needed. But we didn't really need it. We had a decent team.
Okay, all right. What made you pick Weber? Why? Why Weber State?
Um, I always tell people that it just felt right. Like it was genuine when I heard from Coach Q that was the recruiter for the Bay Area
Okay,
back then, and then when I met Coach Hill as well. Coach Hill ended up actually, which is the head coach. If everybody didn't know, Coach Hill came down to my basketball game my senior year. So he flew from Utah to the Bay Area
okay,
and came to watch me play basketball in high school and met my grandma side with my dad. So I just like, coaches don't really do stuff like that and get to really interact with your family. I felt like those two interacted my family well and they had a good connection. So it just felt good.
I understand. I understand. So you walk into Weber State. You're a two sport athlete. You're pretty talented. You got some awards and honors under your belt. Didn't have a lot of offers coming out of high school. Was there a chip on your shoulder when you walked into Weber State, or were you just pretty humble and grounded and just grateful that you got opportunities?
Um, I wouldn't say chip, but the way I was raised, like my dad raised me to always go out and be the best. So it wasn't a chip, but I always like how I said I like to compete.
Yeah.
It was nothing like that was all that was on my mind. It wasn't no chip like, oh, I should be out here or I need to be doing this. It was like, no, I'm just gonna go compete and show that this is what I do and this is what I came to do. So
Okay. Understood. So that first spring camp, what was it like for you? Because again, I'm reading your bio. I mean, you got on the field right away. So, I mean, you had to walk right into camp and just asserted yourself. I mean, talk about that spring camp. How'd that first year go as a freshman and getting on the field? And I'm at the college level. I'm competing against some guys. Like, how'd that all go?
I feel like that was a good time. I'm sorry, he just kind of
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, my spring freshman year, that was just like you said, I had to establish myself. That was the most fun I had in camp, if I should say. Like the rest of the
Cool.
camps, they wasn't that much fun.
Okay. All
Camps
right.
got hard, but excuse me. But you I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
But yeah, I still watch those clips. Like I still got clips from camp that I made plays in to this day. I watch those. So it's like, I don't know. That was a fun time. It allowed me to learn what college football was like, being in the meeting rooms all day, then having to go to practice and then going to meetings again. It just I feel like it built me. It created a younger me to grow up fast. Knowing that I was gonna be on the field, knowing that I was gonna get a chance to get some reps and knowing that I was gonna be a chance to play.
Now, in high school, what kind of defensive system did you play in there?
Um, we ran like a man. We ran more man. We ran like a zero coverage defense, but we also had cover four as a switch up and cover three. But we was more man to man and zero coverage.
Do you operate out of like a 4-3, four two
Yes, sir.
five?
4-3.
Okay, I got you. How do you like playing man? Are you a man guy or do you prefer zone?
That's funny because now that I think about it and look back, I feel like I played man most of my life. Like just how I said in high school, how we played zero coverage. You could go back and still check my high school film out and see that we're in zero coverage, and you go to my college film and see that we played man half the time
Hmm.
or even more than half the time. So I feel like man is just natural, and I don't know, it's just guarding one person is easier,
I got you. I got you.
but
Are you?
you get to make more plays in zone though, so it's a little different.
Well, let me ask you this. When we talk to teams at all the professional levels, especially the NFL and the upper levels, they all say the same thing. They all want to see it. Can you square up, backpedal, flip your hips, turn and run? That I get told countless times that's the foundation of being a DB. And I think Deion Sanders has even kind of alluded to that at different times, being asked by different people, that's the true test of a corner, that you can square up and get into a good back pedal. You can sit your butt down, get up on your heels, or get up on the balls of your feet, rather, and get into a good pedal and then flip your hips and turn and go. Um, I know today a lot of coaches tend to do the whole trail technique and have you turn sideways and kind of cheat. Are you capable of getting in a good stance and backpedaling? Do you feel comfortable backpedaling and flipping your hips and doing speed turns and all those kind of things? Or
Of course, I feel like I'll be comfortable with that my whole life because I did it so much.
how do you feel about that? I mean, do you feel it's the foundation of a DB, or do
I
you?
don't think it's the foundation, but I feel like a good DB, if you have good off coverage, I feel like you'll be a better DB than just playing straight up press man.
Mhm,
Now, if you could switch it up and show different ways, different techniques, and different ideas to switch it up on the receiver, I feel like that'll always make you a better DB.
mhm. But when it comes to the NFL, if their bottom line is backpedal, turn, flip your hips, all that, then I mean they. I know we don't all per se agree or believe everything the NFL says, but at 46, that's been kind of the age old adage and the foundation of fundamentals and techniques. Um, do I understand your side of it completely, and I respect that, and I agree with you. Um, I just was curious about your take on that, and how important you think it is to display loose hips and be able to flip and turn and get in and out of a back pedal versus just cheating and getting into a trail technique. And to me, I don't like the trail technique because you turn sideways, you can get turned around too easily. You can lose a receiver and get burnt. Um, I guess I'm kind of old school in that nature, but now you get to Weber. Was it pretty much the same kind of scheme there, like a 4-3, or were they doing something different? Or
Nah, I feel like at Weber, I learned the whole game of football. I feel like we ran every defense from a 3-3 stack to a 4-3 to a 4-2-5. And I feel like we ran everything, and then we had a whole bunch of different coverages out of those. And
did that excite you to kind of learn new things like that and to get to experience being in a different scheme and a different purpose? Or
of course, I feel like that's why I love football so much because I learned so much about it, and I just know too much about it to not love football.
I, I I couldn't agree more. Talk a little bit in generalities. I'm not asking you to give away strategical secrets of Weber or your high school or anything like that, but talk about with Weber some of the generalized responsibilities of a corner in some of these different kind of schemes, and talk about a little bit of the purpose of the different types of schemes. What are they designed to do? I mean, 4-2-5 was designed to kind of stop the spread. So is a 3-3-5.
Hmm.
A 3-4 is more of a run stop. 4-4 is a run stop defense. So that's kind of what I'm getting at. Talk a little bit about, and just again generalities with Weber, kind of the purpose of the scheme there, and then again kind of position responsibilities within that scheme.
So like Depending on the team, they come out 12 personnel or 11 personnel.
Mm-hmm.
The first two downs will probably go 4-3, probably to stop, like how you said, stop the run or just to get them in third and longs.
Yeah.
But with a passing team, we'll just go straight nickel, which is our 4-2-5, and bring three corners out there,
Okay.
and two safeties, and then just like because we had a good secondary, so we just played we played good man. We had 3-4 good corners that could go at a time. We even had a package, a big nickel package where we had four corners out there at once,
Okay.
and one safety. So if you could tell by that, with us having all those corners out there, we like to play man. We're matching up to guard. So that's more like I say third downs, third and tens, third and longs,
Okay.
third and mediums will be a man to man. And as a corner, I feel like you got to be versatile, and that's what I think I learned at Weber. You got to be able to play in every situation. Because if we do get in a 4-2-5 and we run a like a cover six or something, you got to know what to do in the boundary and in the field. And
Yep.
if you go to a 4-3 and you just run a straight cover two, then obviously it's the same on both sides, unless the
Mm-hmm.
formation switches or something like that. Um, but yeah, Weber scheme is I respect what Jay Hill put up there.
Okay. All right.
A good scheme.
Oh, when they would call a defense in a situation where you knew you were getting ready to be in man or press man, how big of a challenge did you find it to be to step on the field and go, okay, there's not a receiver that's getting ready to make me look silly. Like I'm gonna lock up everybody that gets in front of me.
Yeah.
Did you ever see that as like a big challenge? Was there a certain receiver at a certain school that maybe it would step on the field like you got a little extra excited, a little extra swagger about you? Like, okay, I'm getting ready to go lock this dude up.
Mm, I wouldn't say it's just one receiver that I was super excited to play because we never really matched up, but it was a lot of the teams. I feel like we played based off scheme. We played based off scheme, so we did the dictating to the offense. Um, so yeah, we didn't really have to worry about too much of what the receivers were doing. Obviously, during the week, we are learning their route concepts. We're learning like their splits and how they like to come off the line and stuff like that. But that's just to break us down to get to the point later on in the week to where we know every one of their plays. We know if they get to this split that they like to run this route. If they line up close, they're gonna either go across the formation or break outside to where all the space is. And I feel like that's what made me good because knowing stuff like that, knowing the different um, skills and tricks as a DB to know what a receiver is doing just by coming off where they line up at or where they stance.
So give me one of those. When you step down in man in front of a guy, what's the first like? Give me a telltale sign that tells you, hey, they're about to do this or they're about to do that.
Um, all right, put me somewhere. Am I in the boundary or am I to the field?
Well, let's go to the field side.
Okay, so I'm to the field. Two receivers or one.
Let's go two
Okay, and I'm on the outside or the inside. Slide.
outside.
Okay, so now I would walk from off. So my off. I'm not gonna say exactly where I line up off, but I walk from my off coverage, and
Okay.
I act like I'm in off coverage. I look at the quarterback, look at the formation, see the other side.
Okay.
So that allowed me to see like what they'll run out of that, just to get an idea. I'm not gonna exactly know the play, but just to get an idea what they'll run. Then I step down slowly and line up press, probably inside shade if I'm to the field. Um, and and then yeah, I just see where he's at. If he's under the numbers, then I feel like it's a lot of space to the sideline. If he's on top of the numbers, then I obviously know he's gonna run probably a slant, a dig, a deep post, something that got to go in because you're not gonna line to the wide side of the field and line up to the bottom of the numbers. You're just
Okay.
gonna take yourself out to play.
Okay. What do you Are there any adjustments you make when you see that, or are there things that you might yell to your teammates to alert them to certain things? Or
Yeah, I always talk to my teammates, just let them know what I'm thinking, because I feel like I watch so much film that I'm not always guessing. I'm like probably I'd say above 70% knowing what's going on because I watch that much film, but I don't always like bark, but I just let people know what I know. Like if I see two receivers to the field, I'll let them know if it's a concept that I think, if it's double slants or smash seam or double digs. I just let them know what I'm thinking just so they know. And if it is right, they'll be in the right spot to play under it. But I'm always playing man to man, so I'm gonna be on it too.
all
One of
right,
us gonna have to make that play.
I got you. Um, you mentioned watching film and how much you do, so that it kind of you open the door for a question I don't normally ask or have in my list. But how many hours a week would you say you spend in the film room studying the game, studying teams, sitting down with your coaches, learning the cheat telltale signs, looking at what to look for, how to look for it? How much time do you spend in the film room on a daily basis?
On a daily basis, I say we probably got an hour with the team. I'll be there in the morning for about an hour and a half just by myself, and then probably after practice for about an hour. So probably like 3 to 4, and then I'll go home and still get in for about like 40 minutes. I don't know. It just depends on the times, but I know I'm like that's around the times though.
Okay, so let's just say on the high side, 4 hours a day, 7 days a week. So somewhere between 25, 30 hours a week, roughly.
Around there.
Okay. All right. Do you feel you're a student of the game?
Oh yeah, no
Okay.
question.
Okay. I got you. Hey, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. This is so far just jump right off on this interview. Some questions that I don't normally get to ask or think to ask. So you're just you talking and the things you're saying is giving me some other things to talk about. So I want to grab this real quick here. Um, so your freshman year. Now, I'm just gonna say I read your bio, and then I went to your career stats, and your bio page says something different from your career stats. So,
Yeah,
according to your bio, you saw action in 14 games as a true freshman. Is that right? Wrong?
that's correct.
Okay. All right.
It's just
So,
some of the numbers on one of those is wrong.
okay.
I'm
So
trying to
this
think. I would have to
says
look at it myself to let you know which one is the correct one.
your bio page says 45 tackles with 36 solo, 9 assisted, 2 interceptions.
Yeah, nah,
Is
that was
that
wrong.
inaccurate? Accurate?
For my senior season or
Or no, you're freshman.
my freshman season. Okay, read it again one more time. Oh,
45 tackles, 36 solo, 9 assisted.
mm-hmm.
Does that sound about right?
Yeah, like yeah, sound right.
They said you took part in 14 games your freshman year.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, I mean, you you jump right on the field and have an instant impact. I mean, you're a couple interceptions on the year. Um, says you had at least one tackle in every game. Had season highs of 6 against San Diego State and Idaho. Um, you win a conference championship that year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a pretty impressive freshman season.
Yes, sir.
I mean, seriously, most freshmen don't have that kind of production, much less that kind of resume right out of the gate.
Mm-hmm.
So, did you know you could compete on the D1 level right away and like really be a guy?
Yeah, I never really looked at it as nothing like the D1 level. I just felt like it was football and who I got to line up against, and it's these people. So
Mhm.
I'm like I'm going to continue to say it. Like it's just a competitor in me. Like no matter who it is, I'm going to compete for sure.
Okay.
And I'm not just competing like a scrubby compete. It's like you're gonna have to work.
Okay. Is that what is the competition what drives you internally? I mean, do you like when there's a big time receiver, a dude, a guy that is hyped up and he was all American, he was all this and that and 6'4", he did, Maxwell's only 5'11". This guy's 6'4", 6'5". I don't know if he's gonna be able to match up or not. Do you get like extremely excited or like start kind of foaming
Yeah,
at
with
the
stuff
mouth, so
with
to
stuff
speak?
like that, with stuff like that, of course,
You start
for
foaming
sure.
at the mouth, kind of like, all right, let me just go out here and show you what I can do.
Yeah, I would never go out there and let somebody just blatantly be better than me. I could never in my life.
Has there ever been a time in your college career where maybe some reporter, some commentator, um, kind of called you out, so to speak, like the week of a game or a few days before a game, maybe posted an article or did an interview or a podcast, and man, Maxwell Anderson, he's only 5'11", and we got these guys that are 6'4", 6'6", and we're not sure he's going to be able to compete. Has there ever been a moment like that where, like, okay, going into Wednesday, Thursday, you're kind of foaming at the mouth, like, let's get it on, like let's just get out here and get this done?
I don't think a commentator or reporter called me out specifically like that.
Or
Um,
has there ever
but
been
I
any?
used to always line up. I used to always line up on the opposing team sideline. So they always talking over there. So that's where the competitive nature come with me too. So
So when the opposing team gets to talking, then when they get to barking and chirping at you a little bit, does that kind of turn a switch on, kind of like a robot, so to speak? Do you kind of go into a different world?
definitely, I feel
I
like
mean,
as a corner that it fuels you. Like I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah,
Like that's what gets you like let's go. Yeah.
I got you. I'm tracking. So you, you know, you obviously coming in 2019. So we all know 2020 was COVID. It was just a bunch of nonsense. It was a crazy time. How were you during that period of time when you didn't have football and when you weren't sure when football would return to what it's always been in a structure format sense?
Um, I think I was still just doing the same thing, working out. I was in the house more, of course. Um,
Mm,
but I still had weights in the house, um, lifting,
yeah,
going to the field. Like I was just more by myself and getting myself right in that period of time.
yeah. Did you did you feel the flame starting to dwindle a little bit, or um, becoming a little demotivated as far as being a football player and the whole nonsense of COVID and all this stuff going on? You can't be here, can't do this, whatever. Or how did
Nah,
how
I
did you
don't.
cope with that? How did you manage with that?
It was. I feel like it was just a weird time. Like
Yeah,
a lot of things was weird. Like the situations, but
yeah,
with football, to me, I felt like nothing changed every time I stepped on the field when we got to come back, and it was still you had to wear a mask or you had to get a COVID shot.
yeah,
I feel like football was still the same as soon as I stepped back. But like, of course, all the having to get the COVID, like the all that was weird. But
yeah.
football never changed for me through that whole process.
But I mean, just from a mental or emotional standpoint of you had the game, you had practices, you had school, you had this routine, and all that's just kind of taken from you. And now all of a sudden, stay in the house, don't do this, don't go here, don't breathe, don't do whatever. Did
See,
you?
I think we only went home for I want to say like 2 months because we ended up playing that spring, the
Okay,
2021 spring.
okay,
So we came back and still like practiced together and stuff like that. We had to split it into groups.
Okay, so it
But it
wasn't.
wasn't a long period of time we was like that far away from football to where my mind could even think about stuff like that.
I got you. So your situation wasn't quite as bad as maybe some other people's
Yeah,
situations.
yeah,
So the spring of 21, you guys return after COVID. And you play some games. You have a miniature season, basically. What, 5 games, 6 games,
yeah,
something like
like 6 games.
that. And then you turn around and have to regroup in a short time because you got to go back into fall camp and get ready for an entire season of 2021. So how was that on you as far as you played 6 games? And you know, as a football player, you're always going to have bumps and bruises and
Yeah,
and little knick-knack injuries, and you need a few weeks or a month or two to kind of really get past all the soreness and sensitivity. But how was it having to turn around so quick and roll right back into fall camp and boom, we're right back to playing games again? Like,
it
you don't
was.
normally play games in the spring,
Yeah,
have just a couple months, and you boom, you're right back in it. Now we got 12 more games, and like, you know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
again, a weird year because you're overloaded with games now and not near as much time off. How did you deal with that? How did the team deal with that?
It was a long year for sure, but for me, like I keep saying, it's just football. Like
Mm-hmm.
I could do football year round just like that. Like
Gotcha.
like that's how much I love football. But obviously, yeah, by the end of the fall season, a lot of the guys are injured, so we ended up like, a lot of people was injured because we played. I think we played 18 games that year
Well,
with
six
the six in the 12.
and 12, so yeah, it's 18. So
I think so, something like that.
yeah, just a few games short of doubling a normal season, a normal
Yeah,
year.
yeah.
Um, and I'm just reading from your bio here. You played in 5 games in the spring of 21. This says you helped win a 4 straight Big Sky title. So you guys were named Big Sky champions of what, 2020/21?
Yeah, sir.
So you're
I
a
think
two
it
time.
was 2021.
Okay. So if you helped them win one in 19 and then you win one in 21, so you're a 2 time conference champion.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I got you. I want to make sure we're straight on things. If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong.
Okay, I got you.
So you had like 19 tackles, 14 solo, 2 tackles for loss in the spring season, and then you come back and you record 11 tackles, 10 solo, and you have 6 pass breakups in the fall of 21.
hmm
So not too bad over the course of the whole 18 games and just the weirdness of the season. Going into 2022, what was your mindset like? What was your outlook on the 22 season? What were your goals at that point for you personally as a football player?
Um, so in 2021, I feel like we tried a lot of things because, as I mentioned earlier, we had a really good secondary room. We had like 4 corners that was all conference.
Yeah.
So we was trying new things. We were running 4 corners out there. We were going like we'll mix it up. We'll go 2-2, 3-1, and like have to split during the COVID, like during the COVID seasons. So when 2022 came and you got to go through spring ball and fall camp, and now you're ready to play again. All I was thinking about was being the best out of our room because I knew our room was so good, and if I could try to be the best out of our room, that'd put me at a high level. So I was just competing with the people that was in my room, and they pushed me to become an All American. Honestly,
Yeah. I mean, 2022 was kind of like a coming out party for you. I mean, you play in all 13 games according to your bio. You helped your team get a 10-win season, trip to the second round of the FCS playoffs that year. You were named an All American by 4 different outlets. You were in first team honors from the Associated Press and Blue Bloods. You led the Big Sky with 16 passes deflected. You were 6th in the nation with 5 interceptions during the season.
Mm-hmm.
You returned those 5 for 43 yards. You had 2 interceptions in the season opening win over Western Oregon. Had interceptions against Utah State, Utah Tech, Eastern Washington. You had 11 pass breakups, tied for third most in a season in Weber State history. You
Mm-hmm.
blocked 2 kicks. You had 44 total tackles. 6 tackles with 1 for loss in the win at UC Davis, and 6 tackles in the win over Idaho State. I mean, you were balling in 2022. You were flat out balling out. I mean, talk a little bit about that, all those awards and honors, and the fact that all of a sudden people are taking notice of your game and just what you were able to do and accomplish on the field, not just as an individual, but as a team overall.
Um, First off, I can't do nothing but thank God for blessing me and allowing me to do stuff like that. But yeah, I feel like 2022 season. I feel like that was a season we all took coming out because freshman year, freshman year when we went down, we made it to the semifinals, one game away from the national championship, and then the COVID year. So now we're trying to bounce back and come back and do the same thing and actually go win a national championship. So I want to say we like our whole secondary took that off season like crucial, and we was in a indoor facility almost every day together, working out together, and I feel like that allowed us and me to like continue to get better each day, trying to perfect your craft.
Yeah, I mean, you four different reporting agencies declared you an All American. I mean, that's not an easy feat, man. I mean, that's kind of like singers when they go on that TV show, The Voice, and they get all 4 chairs to turn around. I mean, that ain't really easy to do. So, I mean, you're doing some things, and the team as a whole did some things, and so pretty impressive. Talk about 23 going into the senior year. Now you're an old head. You're a guy
Mm-hmm.
that's been around for a minute. You're a leader. You've obviously established yourself as that guy. What was it like going into that senior season, knowing that's, as we say as coaches and players at some point at different levels or every level, that was your final go round in college.
Mm-hmm.
That's the final ride in college. What was the mantra? What was the goal for 23? What were you on in 23?
Um, to stand out. So in 23, we had a lot of so our head coach ended up going to be the defensive coordinator at BYU.
Okay.
So we had a head coach change. A couple of our players ended up leaving to the transfer portal.
Okay.
But I chose to stay. Personal decision. I just like I chose to stay. I wanted to, as you said, become that leader. I wanted to become that captain that I became. I was the captain of that team.
Yeah.
Um, I wanted to see what it felt like to lead a younger group, and not just any younger group, but the the younger group that I grew up like like I grew up in this group too. So now I could do it and help the younger ones that the same way that I got help, and I just wanted to do that and grow as a person. And in my senior year, personally, I just wanted to get ready for the NFL. That was my whole thing.
Hmm.
I had personal goals and things that I wanted to do during the season and not allow and not give up. Um, but my whole like if I could just summarize it, it was to get ready for the NFL. Like whatever that takes, like locking down. Maybe if that was traveling, I had that on my list. Traveling with the number one corner. If that was not allowing a pass or a touchdown, or like it's different goals that just allow me. And I put my goals my senior year to a high expectation just for me to push myself and get ready. So that's
Yeah.
how my senior year was for me.
How hard did you work personally getting yourself in prime shape for your senior season?
I feel like that's all I did. I feel like going into my senior season, I didn't worry about anything but football. Like literally, that was my time to prepare for the NFL, and that's what I took it as.
So you play in 11 games according to your bio in 23. You're an All-American honors again, first team All Big Sky honors again, second team All-American honors from Hero Sports. You serve as a team captain. You earn your first team All Big Sky honors for the second straight year. You finished second in the Big Sky in passes defended. You had 10 pass breakups and 2 interceptions. You also had a forced fumble with 2 sacks and 2.5 tackles for loss. So again, pretty outstanding production there for your senior year. And you end up with, according to these numbers, and I'm just quoting what's on your bio, roughly 110 total tackles in your career, 78 solo, 32 assisted, 5 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, 34 pass deflections, 8 interceptions, 1 forced fumble, and 2 block kicks.
Some of those numbers are wrong, but I sent you the.
Okay. I figured because when I read your bio page and your stat page, things didn't quite really match up.
Yeah.
And I've been told by other people, and when it comes to scouting, when a corner has a really high tackle number, that means their coverage skills aren't very good. So if you got lower numbers, it probably means you're a better cover guy because you're knocking passes down, you're intercepting balls, and obviously your pass deflection numbers and INT numbers tend to speak to that. You've got some coverage skills, and that's your solo tackle number didn't break triple digits, so maybe there is some truth to that. Is that what do you see it that way, or how do you see it?
I can see it both ways. You don't want to get tackles after the catch, but if you're coming down and helping in the run, then I can see it. If you're playing in the nickel, it's different. You're in the run all the time. From outside corner, if the ball bounces to you, you got to make a play. So I could see people getting tackles, but you don't want to have a lot of tackles out after the catch.
Yeah. Are you the type of corner? Do you get just as excited playing against the run and getting a chance to smack a running back and stop him in the backfield, or?
I get excited to make a play, whatever play it could be, just like how it's blocking a field goal, whatever play it could be, I'm excited to make a play.
Okay. I love the answer. I just had to ask. As a corner, one of the things that scouts and GMs and coaches look at is, are they willing to help support in the run game? Are they willing to come down and be physical and make tackles and stick their nose in on the run game as much as they are covering receivers and knocking balls down or picking balls off? Again, you're just an outstanding college career. Impressive resume. How much attention was there from the NFL and CFL coming out of your senior year?
Not too much. Not too much.
Okay.
Honestly.
How did you feel about that? What was your thought process when you weren't getting quite a lot of, as much attention as maybe you thought you should?
I was confused. Still confused. Now, this is long in the process now that I got a different headspace than back then, but yeah, it threw my mind a little bit. I didn't know why.
Okay, fair enough. How'd the whole local pro day thing come about with the 49ers? How'd that all come to be?
I'm not sure. My agent texted me and said you got an invite to the local pro day,
Mhm.
and to me, that's how it came about. I don't know the behind the scenes of
Right.
what they talked about, or
Yeah. So how'd the whole obviously it went pretty well because you got invited back to mini camp. But how do you feel about your performance? Let me ask it that way. How do you feel about your local pro day performance?
I felt like the local pro day was good. I felt like the local pro day was the how do I say that? Um, I feel like the local pro day was what got me ready
Okay.
because that was right after my pro day, and now I'm going out to an NFL team trying to get ready for the local pro day. So now it's getting my mindset transition from college to now it's actually you on the NFL turf or NFL field.
Mhm.
Um,
Now, mom gave me some numbers. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Um, I asked her about some of your pro day numbers. Your 40 time, I'm told, was in the 4.47 range. Was that about accurate?
you said, huh?
Your mom told me your 40 time they clocked you at like a 4.47,
Yeah. So
and
my range for my pro day was 4.47 and 4.53.
so she said they took the middle of the road and kind of wrote you down as being like a 4.5 guy.
Yeah, 4.5 flat.
Do you feel like you can get sub 4.5 on a consistent basis?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. She said your bench number was like 15 reps.
Um,
And according to NFL standards, I think they look for at your position about 18. So you were just a hair underneath the typical standard. Um, had a 38 and a half inch vert jump. Uh, NFL looks for about 36 at your position. So you were over in that sense. What was your 5.10.5, your shuttle time?
I want to say it was like a 4.3 flat.
4.3? Okay. All right.
I think
Yeah.
I scratched. Yeah, I think I scratched my 4.2, and then it was a 4.3.
And you're still right there where they look for at your position. So, what was your broad jump? Do you remember that?
Um, I'm gonna give you a number, but you still have to go back and look. I want to say it was like 9.7, 9.8.
9.7. Okay.
I'm
Okay.
not positive on that though.
Gotcha. I gotcha. So all in all, pretty quality testing numbers. A little off on a couple of things, little
Mhm.
things that you can fine tune. What about when it got to position drills? Talk about some of the position drills and pro day and the local pro day and how you felt competing in those situations.
I feel like that's where I thrive at. Position drills.
Mhm.
But obviously all the other stuff is like combine training and
Sure.
but the position drills is like that's where I feel like I did good in both my pro day and in the local pro day. I felt like my feet were crisp on those days.
Your mom told me that while you were at the 49ers, I think pro day or mini camp, or maybe it was both, uh, somebody on the coaching staff or a scout or whoever compared you to Samuel Womack. Now,
Hmm.
obviously, mom said, well, they compared him to him, but then they turned around and they got rid of Samuel a few days later. So,
Yeah.
um, not sure how good or bad that may be, but talk about the fact that an NFL team actually gave you a real player comparison.
Um, I don't look too much into that, but I appreciate it. Like obviously, like they could see me as somebody in the NFL. I appreciate that.
Okay, did that give you more hope, more positivity?
I wouldn't say more hope.
I got you.
I wouldn't say more hope.
Okay, talk about now that all these things have happened and you're trying to find your way back to the field. Talk about your off-season program right now as it stands. How many days a week are you personally training? What are you focused on each day? Take us through your nutrition plan because I know Mom said you've added about 10 or 12 pounds
Mhm.
to your frame. So obviously it means you're probably taking in more calories and protein, trying to get bigger. Um, talk about flexibility program. Do you go to yoga classes, dance classes? What exactly do you like to do for flexibility work? And then take us through your recovery cycle. Like, what do you like to do for recovery? Are you a cryotherapy guy, massage guy, cupping guy, a acupuncture guy, an e-stim guy? Kind of take us through the various components of your off-season program and how you've got it laid out right now.
So my week schedule, I go Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'm on the field.
Okay.
I'm on the field getting field work. And Tuesday and Thursdays, I have a speed trainer that I
Okay.
go through, and he also helps me with my, like how you were saying, the hip mobility and my
Yep.
flexibility. So that's where I do that kind of stuff at, and I'm loosening my hips up and stretching and finding ways to run faster and getting stronger in my legs. And then Monday through Friday, I'm lifting. So those 5 days I'm lifting.
Okay.
And then if I'm not doing anything, trying to get money on the weekends, then I'll probably go Saturday as well. But usually I'm doing something on the weekend.
Okay. Yeah. Um, do you think, do you, what's your opinion on yoga and like dance classes? Because over the years,
I like
NFL,
yoga actually. They made my senior year we took a class actually as a team for
okay.
football. Um, Probably the best thing I ever did. I like yoga.
Really?
Yeah.
Talk about it a little bit. Tell me a little bit about it.
I'm okay, so I'm not a flexible dude. Like I could
Okay.
move good, like my hips is good, but now when it comes to straight stretching and I'm not really that flexible. But doing that allowed me to get my hamstrings looser, like my back,
Mhm.
my shoulders. It just allowed me to become more fluent in my movements.
Sure. Over the years, scouts, coaches, GMs, different people, NFL, CFL, they swear by that stuff that, especially like for O linemen, if they got bad feet,
Hmm.
put them through dance classes because dance classes make you learn to have to move your feet in organized patterns and with some rhythm and coordination. And so I know yoga is kind of the big thing now for flexibility purposes, for hips and stuff, and even dance classes. Some of those dances, salsa and different things, you got to really move your hips and stuff. And so I didn't know if you do that kind of stuff or you believe in that kind of stuff, or as you leave college, you don't have a strength and conditioning coach per se holding your hand or managing you every day and saying, okay, you got to work out this time, that time, you got to do this
Hmm.
sheet and that sheet and whatever. Now it's upon you to find the resources and put a plan together and make sure that plan gets you ready to compete. Oh, we lost him. Oh, there we go. Um, I was just curious, kind of how you've thought out your own personal plan to ensure you're at the peak level performance wise.
Okay, so I heard like the last part of what you said. My
Oh,
phone,
okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, I was just gonna say when you leave college, so to speak,
Okay.
from college football, you don't have the strength and conditioning coach per se holding your hand or managing you daily and saying, okay, you got to be here this time and that time, and you got to do this workout and that workout, whatever. Now you're considered a free agent and chasing the pro level. Now it's up to you to find the resources and put a plan together and execute the plan every week, every day, every month. And so I
Gotcha.
was just curious to hear what you had thought out for your own personal plan and how you put that into play. And Mom said you've added 10, 12 pounds to your frame. Talk about your change in diet, your nutritional plan. What are you doing differently to pack on some extra muscle?
Um, I think I think I'm just eating a little more after every lift.
Okay.
I don't think it's nothing different. I just me the type of person I am. I could not eat before the lift and still have a great lift, and then still have a little energy, and then I'll go eat.
Okay.
But now I'm learning that now you got to eat before, you got to eat an hour after you lift, and that's what's helping me right now. But as far as my personal plan, I've been on the same plan since I got back from my pro day.
Okay.
Um, so I have somebody who helps me with my lifting and my weights. I have
Okay.
somebody who helps me with my field work, and then I have somebody who helps me with my speed and my agility.
Okay.
So I do have a team.
I got you.
Uh,
I got you. Good. I mean, you've thought this thing through, and you got seems like all the components put together, and you're executing the plan to perfection at this point. Uh, talk about let's kind of flip gears a minute. Well, before we do that, what about recovery? What do you like to do for recovery? What kind of recovery methods do you like to use?
Um, I use more like Theraguns, but I
Okay.
like to get a massage sometimes too. I like
Okay.
massage.
You like cryotherapy or ice baths or
I think I've only done cryo once, but that was a good way to recover as well.
have you done the traditional ice baths where you jump in the water troughs and fill them up with
Have
ice and
I?
water?
Have I? Too many times.
Let me ask you this: is that a fan favorite for you or no?
No, sir.
You don't like getting in ice
No,
baths?
sir. No, sir. I'd rather just go give me some ice bags or something.
Okay, fair enough. I understand. The big linemen, though, they after a hot day on the practice field,
Oh yeah.
linemen typically like
Oh yeah.
that.
They're in there.
They're fighting over who's getting in first. Um, let's talk about leadership. You know, on the football field, there's typically two kinds of leaders. There's the loud, boisterous Ed Reeds, the Ray Lewises, the talkers, the loud, boisterous people, and then you've got the quiet, bring your lunch pail to work, lead by example kind of person. What kind of person do you believe you are leadership wise and why?
I think I'm a good mix of both.
Okay.
So I'm gonna be honest, I'm not no over aggressive, overly spoken leader.
So you're
As
not
in,
the Ed Reed per se.
yeah, I'm not the Ed Reed, but when we get on the field and it's time to get out there with your brothers, you're gonna know I got your back and I'm gonna be able to put us in position to know what we're doing. But I'm also like that's like I lead by example as well. So that's where that comes from.
Okay.
I could like I said, I watch film. That's me leading by example. I know what's gonna go on, so I could tell my teammates exactly where I think the ball can be thrown. So like if my linebacker thinks it's a run and he's where he straight run and that's his responsibility. But the quarterback steps back and drop back and he has to get into a drop. Now he knows I alerted an in route. So now he's looking to my side thinking, oh, this dude could be coming straight to me and maybe drop under it and get a pick or something.
I got you. So has there ever been a situation as a leader where you've had to go kind of getting somebody a little bit and kind of let them know what time it is or
Yeah, I would say, yeah. Uh, I would say my first camp of being a captain. So my senior year, I had to in camp during camp.
are
That was the
you
first time we.
comfortable with being in that position or
I'm comfortable with it. Like I can do it. I'm not always like I'm not always just a. I don't know how to say it. Like I'd rather just talk to you and be like, this would like do this. Like I'd
yeah,
rather help you put you in position than yell and get in your face.
yeah.
But I can do that too as well. I'm just not that type of like. That's more out of my character. Like I can do it, but that's not how I would rather go about it.
No, I understand. I understand completely. Um, let's flip the coin real quick. Let's go the other side of the coin. Football players are role models for a lot of people, whether it be youth, young athletes, young adults, adults, just people in general. Um, how important is it to you as an athlete, an aspiring professional athlete? How important to you is it the way you carry yourself on and off the field and the image you portray to those who may look up at you and say, hey, that guy's a role model?
That's the biggest thing. I feel like my dad instilled that into me as a young age. Is that you're walking around as a brand. Um, you're not just you. You got a last name. You got a family. Um, you got people around you like your village that care about you and look out for you. You don't want to do nobody wrong
Yeah,
and like just take care of yourself, look presentable, stand up, shake somebody's hand, like just things like that.
yeah.
Uh, I feel my character built was solid.
Okay. I got you. I got you. And in talking about that, and part of being a role model, and part of being a collegiate or professional athlete, obviously, there's a community service aspect to that.
Mm.
Every program, every team has its own theory, its own philosophy, its own vision of what that looks like. And I'm sure that Weber State is no different. I'm sure they have their own vision and their own philosophy. Um, talk about very quickly one community service activity you were involved in at Weber State that you really enjoyed and felt like it made a big impact. And then on the flip side of that, talk about something maybe that you've identified moving forward as a professional athlete where you've said, I want to get involved in that, and I want to leave my mark on that one day. And it doesn't matter if it's something you heard about on the radio or TV or read on the internet or in a book or a magazine or just somebody told you about. But kind of talk about those two things as far as that community service aspect and how important to you is it to be involved in the community and give back.
Um, so we did this one thing. I actually forgot the name. We was on the show. It was a community service thing that it was some people, some homeless people, and it was a show that they got a house built for them.
Mm-hmm.
So we were there. We were around when they surprised them with the new house. And then so we did stuff like that. We went into the community, picked up trash. We went to the community with 7-on-7 camps. Um, but yeah, I think me personally giving back to the community, that's how I give back in a sports aspect in like camps, like summer camps and bringing in positive vibes. Like
Do you, when you see homeless people and when you're out and about in the community and you just see different things, does it hit you a different way, or does it trigger thoughts or feelings about there needs to be more community service, we need to help each other more, or do you really pay attention to that a lot, or
no, I do actually pay attention to that. I think there should be different resources or a lot more resources for the homeless because it's actually not really good. It's getting bad for the
well, I mean,
homeless
any
around the
one of
city.
us are a heartbeat away from being in the same position.
No, definitely. No, definitely. And that's why I feel like there should be more community service aspects to where people could help those type of people as
I
well.
mean, it's
Giving
not.
back food, giving places, I don't know, beds, different things of that nature. Just
I mean,
making sure other people are good.
we had 3 rounds of tornado weather this week and thunderstorms, severe thunderstorms and flooding. I
Mm.
mean, there are people that houses got destroyed in a matter of seconds by a tornado. They
Mm-hmm.
went from having a home and belongings and memories and all that to nothing, just leveled, stuff thrown miles away, people killed. I mean, we're all just a heartbeat away from being in the same boat, you know. So I'm always curious to hear athletes' take on community service because I know that you in college, especially, they press that. Um, whether it's going to children's hospitals, you know, like the University of Iowa, um, they're big with the children's hospital, and it's right there. Um, I think on one end or right behind the stadium, and so like at halftime, everybody turns, or I think it's maybe in the third quarter, everybody turns and waves to the kids in the children's hospital that are able to sit and watch the game through the windows and stuff. And everybody's got something different that they do. So I know every student athlete has a chance to be a part of community service, and I'm always interested to hear as you become a professional athlete, what kind of things do you want to do to give back? You know, because the professional teams have their own visions too and their own
Mm-hmm.
philosophies, and there's things you're going to be required to do. Um, and so I'm always interested to see how far athletes have thought about that and if it really means anything to them, because these teams are going to want to know that too. They're
Yeah.
investing money in you. They want to know that you're going to be an asset to the community. And so I always like to talk about that. I'm pretty certain I know the answer to this question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Um, who do you look up to and why?
Mm. I got to pick one person.
It can be anybody. You can pick two. It can be a teacher,
I could name a lot
coach.
of people.
I
I
mean,
could
it could
name a
be a
lot of
camp
people.
counselor.
I don't even. Okay,
It
I
could
got
be
to put a
anybody.
name. Can I just say my close family? I don't know. You want me to put one name?
Say it however you want. This is your question to answer. You
Okay.
answer it the way you want to answer it.
Okay. So with me, it's a lot of people that impacted my life. That
Okay.
ooh, I just got hit by a bee. My fault.
Oh, okay. I got you.
um, but yeah, it's a lot of people that impacted my life. That I could say are like superheroes to me that I look up to. But yeah, I was more raised with like a village, like a lot of close people together that helped build me to be the person who I am. Um, so I got to give credit to literally everybody in my campaign, literally
Sure.
everybody that helped build me up. But I give it to my parents. I give it both to them.
Okay. Fair enough. I always try to preface that question with it can be anybody. I mean, it could be somebody you passed along a sidewalk and they gave you a piece of advice that stuck with you. I mean, anybody for that
Hmm.
matter. But yeah, I kind of figured I knew the answer to that question. When you're on the field in football mode, who do you model your game after? Is there a person that you watch that when you step on the field, you sometimes there's those thoughts that, man, I'm gonna try and play like he does. I'm gonna try to do things the way he does on the field, or
If I could be 100% honest, I've
yeah,
never really thought that way.
okay, hey, that's fair enough.
Now, don't get me wrong. I watch highlights and I see who does what and how they break and how
Sure,
they play certain covers, but I've never really tried to model my game after nobody. I just
fair
try to
enough.
get little tips and things that I can add to my toolbox that can make me a better me.
Yeah, when you've played your final game in your football career, whenever that may be, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, whatever it is, 10 years, however long, when you've played your final game and you've hung your cleats up for the final time, what's next for Maxwell? Where do you go? What's your dreams? What's your plans? What's your goals after the game of football?
Pass on the knowledge that I know about the game of football. I think I still want to do something around the game of football.
You want to be a coach or
Something around there, whether it's actually a coach or just like a mentor or somebody who, oh, I could get good information from this guy because he knows exactly what he's talking about. He's been at a high level and played And
Sure.
he's not just going to say anything. He's going to allow me to get better and speak the right things about football too.
Okay. All right. Here's we're getting close to the end here, so I'm gonna throw the two. I'm gonna throw. Well, I can't really throw two. I guess I can only throw one. I was gonna say two questions, but the basketball national championship has already been decided, so I can't even do that. Okay. I'll just ask this one. I'll do this one question. This is a 3-part question. This is the most serious question of this entire interview. So I'm gonna need you to really lock in, get in that zone, in that DB zone, and really, really come up with something on this one. EA Sports, they gave us college football back again.
Mm-hmm.
They took it away from us for a few years. They gave it back to us. So EA Sports 2025 came out, hit the market. It was a big deal. Part A, do you own the game? Part B, have you played it? What's your review? Part C, if you have played it, who are you running with?
Okay. So let me
Curveball.
see. I don't have the game
Okay. All right.
actually, but I played it multiple times, like a lot
Okay.
of times.
Okay.
Now, with me, I play the game just to play the game, so I don't choose a team, like a specific team, random.
Okay.
So that's how me and my friends play.
Okay.
We're random and pick a random team. But yeah, I've played. I think it's a good game. I think it's fun. Like it was fun when it first came out.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I was on it for about a month straight, and it wasn't even my game. So that's how I know. That's how I know it was a good game. But if I had to get a rating out of 5 stars, I'd give it 4.2. What's that?
Okay.
84%.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Now, part D, I'm gonna throw a part D in there just because you said how much you played it and stuff. Amongst you and your friends, how many controllers have been broken? How many people's feelings have been hurt? And how many times have people just got up and walked off and said they were done?
All right, so we not breaking no controllers. We not getting that mad, but nah, it's been arguments. People get up and walk out for sure. But
I
you
mean,
you not don't break no controller. You got to buy the controller, so you're not gonna break that controller.
yep, yep. I've seen some thrown into TVs.
No,
I've seen
no,
some.
definitely. I know some people who did it, but on a regular basis, we not just breaking controllers.
How many people's feelings have you hurt locking them up on the game?
Oh, a lot. I don't even know a number, but that's because I talk trash during the game too, though. So
Okay, all right.
don't let me get up by more than 21. You're gonna hear it. You might want to quit.
What's your go-to line?
My go-to, nah, we're not gonna see. Yeah,
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I'm good. I'm good. Hey,
I don't even know. I couldn't even give you one.
tell everybody what social media platforms you're on. What's your handles? How can they find you if they want to reach out directly?
I'm on Instagram at bto.uno. Um, my
BTO.uno. I gotta remember
yes,
that.
sir. My Twitter is _Prince Uno,
Okay.
and those are the main two. My email. I mean, those are the main two social medias y'all can see me at.
All right. Just a thought. Up to you. A lot of the indoor arena overseas teams deal with Instagram and Facebook. You might want to think about that.
Facebook.
Facebook's a big deal. I know a lot of you young cats, y'all say that's for old people and stuff. Uh, there's certain levels of pro football that still operate on those two specifically.
Mhm.
So just food for thought. thank you for taking all this time with me. Thank you for putting your trust in me and Coach Behan and Hidden Gems to represent you. I'm very grateful for your mom and dad putting trust into us to help you. I take this very seriously, and we're going to work extremely hard to open some doors very quickly for you to have opportunities and get back to what you do best. Um, I appreciate again taking all this time out during your day. What's your schedule like the rest of the day? What you got going on?
I'm actually about to go work out right now, and
Okay.
then after that, I'll probably go get some food, come back to the house.
What kind of food you getting today? What's on the menu?
I haven't even really thought about it yet.
Anything?
Probably get a good steak. Ooh, steak and potatoes. That
Okay,
sounds good.
that sounds good
With
right
some
there.
asparagus or something.
Yeah,
Something
that
like
sounds
that.
really good. Truthfully, really good.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you for straightening me out on your email address and your phone number. Now that I know how to contact you directly, you and I will communicate a lot more.
Yes, sir.
Um, please don't be a stranger. Okay. If you got questions, if you got concerns, if you want to know something, team, league, whatever, feel free to contact me. It doesn't matter what time of day or night. I'm usually up till at least 4:30 in the morning. A lot of people are like, 10, 11 o'clock is late. And I'm like, man, my night's just getting started. Like I've
Yeah.
got several more hours to go. So, um, like I said, thank you so much. I really do appreciate everything. And I'm excited, extremely excited to work with you. You've got an amazing resume. And we're working on several things, and I'll be able to share some of that with you and mom here either later today or tomorrow at the latest. So,
Yes, sir.
um,
Appreciate you.
thank you so much. Thank you to those who watched, those who will watch in the coming hours, days, weeks. We look forward to opportunities for Maxwell on every level. If you have an opportunity, please feel free to reach out, direct message, email, text, phone call, whatever. We're available. We'll talk to Maxwell and his family about the opportunities and make any connections that are necessary. So that being said, it's Wednesday, it's hump day. Everybody have a good rest of your week. Have a good weekend. We'll see you back here on another live stream interview here at Hidden Gem Sports Scouting. Real quick, um, as we close out here, I want to make sure that we share this. Prodigy X Football is a sponsor of the Hidden Gems Phenoms Pro Travel Football Team. They did an amazing job with our uniforms for the team. If you're college, pro, semi-pro, high school, whatever, you need uniforms, you need coaches apparel, player apparel. Hit up Aaron Anderson and Prodigy X Football. They do an amazing job. They've been an amazing sponsor for us. Our logo, our helmet decals, everything. So, want to make sure I put that out there real quick. I told them that we'd make sure that they got a little camera time here. So, but anyway, Maxwell, thank you again. I'm going to be in touch with you and mom later
Yes,
today.
sir. Yes, sir.
Give you a status update. I know you and I talked offline. There's a coach that wants to see your information for potential opportunity, and so I'll keep you apprised of how that all plays out. I'll give you copies of the conversation. So anyway, have a good workout.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
Keep that head up. Stay motivated. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Don't be a stranger. You got my number. All right. Text me, call me, whatever. Okay. And I'll be working through mom the large majority of this. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right, big dog.
Appreciate you.
Hey, thanks so much. Take care and have a good rest of your day.
You too.
All right. All right, everybody. Have a good week, and we'll see you back here soon.